Here we go again. Another tragic shooting. A mass casualty event happened just earlier. Up to 30 people were shot in Baltimore.
Upon officers' arrival, we located multiple victims suffering from gunshot wounds. We located one female adult deceased on the scene. 9 additional victims were transported from the location to area hospitals. Additionally, we had 20 other victims walk into hospitals throughout the region. Our detectives are currently working an extensive crime scene. The 2 deceased victims we have are both adults. We have 3 other victims who are in critical condition.
And this was the reckless, cowardly act that happened here and that has permanently altered many lives and cost 2 people their lives. And I want those who are responsible to hear me very clearly. We will not stop until we find you, and we will find you. Until then, I hope with every single breath that you take, that you think about the lives that you took, and you think about the lives that you impacted here tonight.
So far, 2 confirmed dead, several critical, dozens wounded. Well, this is Baltimore. I've been creating videos about Baltimore for over a year, and the problem is just getting worse. Now, some of you may have noticed I haven't made any new content in about a month, maybe a little longer. I'll explain that at the end of this if anybody wants to know more. But Baltimore is a deep blue Democrat city. The mayor, Brandon Scott, Democrat. Police chief, Michael Harrison, Democrat. Superintendent on the Board of Education, Darrell Williams, Democrat. I can't say the entire city of Baltimore is controlled by a certain demographic, but it is an overwhelming majority. But where's the outrage? Where are the parades, the protests? Where are the statues and the murals? There won't be any. No one cares. Even the mayor on scene, his harshest words to the homicidal maniac that just attempted to end over 30 people. The mayor says, "You better think about what you did." Seriously, that's it? I mean, look at his face. There's no passion. He doesn't appear like this is a big deal to him. Do you get the sense that he's gonna put maximum effort into fixing this, solving the crime, getting justice for the victims? Nah, I just don't see it. Why does he think that a maniac like this would have any remorse or a secondary thought process at all? These are vicious animals and should be treated as such. Plus, Baltimore, once again, a city that has some extremely strict gun laws. Are they working? Okay, I know this is getting so old to say that the cities with the strictest gun laws have the worst gun problems, blah, blah, blah. And every leftist will say, well, they get the guns from other places that don't have strict gun laws, then they bring them here. Really? That argument is so tired and weak. I'm sick of it. It is not and will never be the gun's fault. It's a person with zero impulse control that is always the problem. But it's worse in this case because this might be a racially motivated crime. Now, they don't have a suspect yet, so we don't know if it's black-on-black crime statistic. In fact, they didn't release the race for any of the victims, so this might be one of those rare Amish-on-Amish crimes. We just may never know. But I can almost guarantee if a white guy or a cop pulled that trigger, this would be front page on every newspaper for weeks. Is anyone asking, why is that always the pattern? So maybe the missing or lack of information is the information. Hey, just a theory. Now this will happen again later next month, and it will have the exact same response. Why? Well, simple. If they ever catch this shooter, and they probably won't, but if they do, he'll be out on cashless bail, probably in a few hours. The Soros-backed district attorney will drop the charges or reduce them to a misdemeanor plea deal with no jail time. That's how Democrats run things. Well, plus a precedent has recently been set. Since Hunter Biden lied on his background gun check and faced no penalties, legally you have to assume that anyone else can do it now. They'll just use the Hunter Biden defense. Oh, sorry, Your Honor, I was high at the time and I made a mistake. Can I have my plea deal now? Is there any way to fix this? Well, yes and no. I understand that wasn't the answer you're looking for. Yes, it can be fixed. Put a cop on every corner and change the courts so that when an arrest is made, the guilty person is convicted. Get the criminals locked away from regular people. There are other steps like dismantling the entire education system and finding a way to keep these families together, ending generational welfare and getting people back to work. But the reality is that, no, none of those things are going to be implemented, and Baltimore is going to get more violent. Well, as long as the community keeps voting the same way, getting the same policies, and expecting something to change. It's not going to change. I know this story was from the 4th of July, so it is not very timely. But that's almost the point. The date doesn't matter. This story could have happened this week, next week, 2 months ago. It's the same scenario that plays out over and over and over, and nothing changes. Now, if anyone is interested, I took a couple of weeks off from making content on YouTube and Rumble. Truth is, I've just been very, very busy. I built a chicken coop by hand with a huge caged-in run because we have a bit of a hawk problem. I took down a few trees in my back property after one of them fell during a storm. Minor damage to the house, but it missed the hot tub by about a foot, and that would have been expensive and sad. I've also been doing just a bunch of gardening. Peppers, peas, squash, strawberries, blackberries. I've also been making blackberry jam to save for winter. Wild blackberries have a lot more seeds than store-bought berries. So once you strain out most of the seeds, turns out you need a lot more blackberries to make a jar of jelly. The whole process takes a lot longer than you'd think, but it's fun. I like doing it. And I also created a brand new business. It's AI-based, and hopefully it'll be the kind of business that once you create the item, it can sell online forever. So very little effort up front with the potential to earn massive income for a long time. I don't know if you're feeling the economy lately, but getting a side hustle is probably going to end up being a really good idea. But the biggest reason why I took a break off of YouTube particularly is Pride Month. The Pride community is protected. So if you say the wrong thing, you get canceled. I have zero patience for these people, so I avoid them as much as possible. This last month was no surprise. The month of June, Pride Month, everything got worse. They got much bolder, and people have started drawing lines in the sand. Now, Bud Light was a pretty big line. I purposefully didn't comment on that at all. There were enough people doing really good commentary, so you didn't need my 2 cents. But it's possible that this was the last Pride Month with corporate sponsorship. It's finally reached the cultural level of awareness where normal people who used to say, live and let live, I don't care what these people do in the privacy of their own room. But now it's not the privacy of their own room. And more people are aware of the actual goal. Turns out, most people aren't as accepting as they thought. And that's a good thing. So anyway, I just wanted to make a real quick video to let everyone know what's going on. And I'm going to try to be around a little bit more in the future. I got a couple of ideas in my head. So I have missed you all dearly, and I will talk to you soon. Thank you very much.